Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is a morning update. You all know how I feel about Gloria Allred and her daughter, Lisa Bloom. Well, Gloria Allred pulled a stunt in England that I actually approve of. She had an American yellow-style school bus with a big billboard across it, and the billboard read, "If you see this man, please ask him to call the FBI to answer their questions." Then it gives you a phone number. And then on either side of the billboard, on the left and on the right, it's GloriaAllred.com. Of course, she has to, get her marketing in. And then a picture of Prince Andrew with this stupid smirk on his face on either side of the billboard. And as much as I dislike Gloria Allred, and as much as I really detest the way she goes about things for the most part, I think this is pretty funny. I think this is a pretty good stunt here. And I guess the bus drove by Buckingham Palace. So, as much as I hate Gloria Allred, as she's usually in front of a microphone trying to hog the publicity from a situation that should be about her clients, I think that this is a pretty good move here. This is a kind of another kick to the gut for Prince Andrew. Imagine you're at your house doing whatever you're doing, and you see one of these cheese wagons come cruising by, and there's a billboard with your dumb face on it, and a message to call the FBI if anybody sees your stupid face. How hilarious is that? The Prince of Punk Asses must be besides himself at this point, folks. The Prince of Punk Asses must not know what to do with himself. What an absolute clown this guy is. Just come forward, speak to the FBI, and then you don't have to worry about Gloria Allred having buses cruise in front of your house with stupid messages, buddy, all right? How about that? How about you just come forward, do the honorable thing, and speak with the FBI? But he won't, because we all know he is the Prince of Punk Asses. All right, so on to the article. The article is from The Guardian, and it was written by Ed Pilkington. Headline, School Bus Stunt Urges Prince Andrew to Talk to the FBI About Jeffrey Epstein. An American-style school bus has driven past Buckingham Palace with a message on the side appealing for Prince Andrew to answer questions from the FBI about his links to the sex offender, pedophile, Jeffrey Epstein. You know what's crazy, folks? That we have to resort to a bus cruising by Buckingham Palace with a billboard on it to try and goad this guy into speaking to the authorities. What sort of world are we living in when a so-called prince is too scared to come out from behind mummy's skirts to speak to the authorities? What sort of man is that? What sort of ruler is that? I mean, how can anyone respect this guy at this point? I know nobody on this podcast respects him, and nobody paying attention to this story still respects him, that's for sure. But how can this guy go about his day knowing that he is such a scumbag? Do the right thing, Prince of Punk Asses, and speak to the authorities. The stunt was arranged by the U.S. lawyer Gloria Allred, who represents some of Epstein's victims. And again, they say the right thing. As much as I think it's funny, it is a stunt. So Gloria Allred is full of these kind of moves. She loves this sort of stuff. She loves whatever kind of publicity that she can be involved in. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad that these girls who are being represented by Allred are being represented by somebody who's going to, at the very least, try and get it into the news. But I just fear that Gloria Allred tries to make things about herself too often and not about the survivors in the case. And I'd like to see more of that from her. But she's one of these attention hound lawyers that we've talked about several times here on the podcast. And there's tons of them. She falls into the category of Alan Dershowitz when it comes to attention seeking, in my opinion. The Prince of Punk Asses, stepped away from royal duties after his disastrous Newsnight interview about his relationship with Epstein. Well, unless you mean stepping away from duties has to do with going and representing the monarchy with the Chinese ambassador for Lunar New Year. I mean, did he really step back, or do they want to just give us the appearance of him stepping back? Because it sure seems like the Queen hasn't abandoned him. It sure seems like the Queen loves her boy. And look, that's her son. All right, and I get it. I understand why she wants to love him. That's acceptable. But you can't have him running around as the face of the monarchy. You can't have him going to meetings with Chinese ambassadors. This guy is, you remember when you were a kid and you were grounded? That's basically what this guy needs to be. Grounded, self-imposed house arrest. Anything less is going to open himself and the crown to much more scrutiny and mockery. The bus carried large pictures of the prince, accompanied by the message, "If you see this man, please ask him to call the FBI to answer their questions." I mean, wow. We're talking about the Prince of England here, folks. We are talking about the son of the Queen of England. And people have resorted to renting American-style cheese wagons and throwing billboards on them to try and get old boy to come out and answer their questions. What in the world? What in the world is going on when people have to resort to stunts to get someone like the Prince of England to speak to the authorities about something he says he did nothing? He did nothing wrong, right? So come forward and speak. We know he won't, though, because we know it's very obvious that Prince Andrew has been lying throughout this whole entire thing, and that he continues to lie, and it is obvious that he will not speak to authorities unless he is compelled to do so at this point. Allred gave an impromptu press conference on the steps of the New York Supreme Court on Friday. Here you go. Like I said, I should have known that there'd be some microphones for her to hound in front of. She should have just left it at the bus stunt. She doesn't need to have the whole press conference, none of that. A simple press release would have been fine. But no, Gloria Allred has to be part of the story. She appealed directly to Andrew to come forward to the FBI and share with them information about what he had seen when spending time with Epstein at his properties in Manhattan and elsewhere. How about not only what he had seen, what he was involved in, okay? What was he involved in? Him and the Prince of Punk Asses and Jeffrey Epstein were as thick as thieves. Prince Andrew, the punk ass, the Prince of Punk Asses, was never just a bystander at Jeffrey Epstein's house. All right? It's like he went to the buffet and he didn't eat. Yeah, right. All right? This guy was at Jeffrey Epstein's for one single purpose. He knew that Epstein could facilitate the wants and needs of his desires. And what those wants, needs, and desires were young ladies, young girls. And that's just point blank, period. My clients deserve the truth. They have been denied justice so many times over so many years, and there will be no justice without the truth. And there will be no truth unless Prince Andrew stops hiding from the FBI and from the public. This is unacceptable. Well, she's absolutely right in everything she says there. The survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and Jeffrey Epstein's buddies have been denied justice at every single turn. Okay? And I know we talked yesterday about, the girl from Florida who came forward, and she was, one of the first. Listen, if they would have just listened to Maria Farmer, if they would have listened to when Maria Farmer came forward and told them that what was happening to her, not only by Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, but on Wexner's property, all of this would have been nipped in the bud. So let me ask you, who were the people that swept this under the rug in the FBI? And why have they not been called out on the carpet? Why have they not been called into a courtroom to explain themselves? She went on, "I implore you, Prince Andrew, you must do the right thing and stop shaming your family, the Queen, your children. If you have done nothing wrong, then just talk to the FBI." That is absolutely correct. I mean, for somebody who supposedly loves his mom and he's his mom's favorite, he sure doesn't give a shit about his mom's welfare at this point. I mean, your mom's 94 years old, dude. You're out here cavorting with guys like Jeffrey Epstein and Peter Nygard, bringing shame to the royal family? And then you were probably one of the ones that was in the corner laughing at Diana all the time when she was being abused by you people. So, look, here's the deal, Prince Andrew. You're no longer a prince. You're the Prince of Punk Asses. It's time for you to come forward. It's time for you to face the music. And it's time for you to stop being such a chump-ass coward. Andrew has so far failed to respond to FBI approaches in the ongoing investigation into Epstein and his abuse of underage girls. Last month, the New York prosecutor in the case, Jeffrey Berman, held a press conference outside Epstein's Manhattan mansion House and revealed that the prince had to date provided zero cooperation. Well, yeah, we know that Prince Andrew hasn't provided any cooperation yet. And according to Berman and the SDNY, it's still going on. There's still no response from Andrew's camp. The prince remains playing coy. He's just like his friend Ghislaine Maxwell. Just two peas in a pod. Those claims appear to have prompted anger in Buckingham Palace as sources close to the prince denied that he had been uncooperative. According to sources who spoke to The Guardian, Andrew is committed to the legal process. Oh, well, that's obvious. We can certainly tell that he's committed to the legal process, because Andrew is a pillar of the community, folks. Andrew is the kind of guy that you would never, ever think he was doing anything like this. I mean, look at his history. He flew a helicopter. And what else? That's pretty much all they go to. Oh, he was an honored warrior in the Falklands War. Yeah, right. The Falklands War, please. He was getting shot at with revolvers, and he was in a helicopter. Give me a break. Prince Andrew needs to come forward. Prince Andrew needs to come clean. Prince Andrew needs to stop being the prince of punk asses and do the right thing. Will he do it? I highly doubt it, folks. I truly believe that he will need to be compelled to come forward, and he gains nothing. He gains nothing at this point by speaking to the authorities, and he knows it. He's being advised by whatever lawyers Buckingham Palace has brought in for him to talk to, and I'm sure he's probably even reached out to his buddy, Alan, I kept my underwear on Dershowitz. So, look, he's going to have to be compelled, and for that to be the case, it's going to take bravery from the prosecutors in America. The question is, do we have any prosecutors with a set on them? Do we have any prosecutors who are not scared to do the right thing and pursue justice no matter where it leads? That's the question, folks. Do we have anybody in our government and in these organizations that's going to stand up and say, enough is enough. It is time to end these people once and for all. And I guess that's the question that we're going to be waiting for the answer for, because up until now, we don't have anybody who has stepped up and been that person. Going forward, maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't. But the only way that Andrew is ever going to talk, in my opinion, is if he is compelled, and that is going to happen only under extreme pressure from a bulldog of a prosecutor that has only one thing in mind: justice for the survivors. All right, folks, if you'd like to contact me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. Also, if you enjoy my work and you would like to help support the podcast, you can click on the GoFundMe link inside of the description box. All right, everybody, I'll be back later on with a daily drop. Enjoy your Friday.